Hey guys, my name is Sunny. I'm from the Render Network Foundation. I'm joined here today with Patrick. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing great.
So, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
I film stuff,
Awesome.
and I started a YouTube channel about mobile filmmaking. And while doing that, I started getting bored, and I wanted to start implementing some 3D into my cell phone footage. So I
Nice.
stumbled upon Cinema 4D, and I kind of went through the hard knocks of learning 3D like everybody else,
Yep.
especially for me, VFX and tracking. And I was following another artist by the name of Patrick 4D,
Yep.
and all of a sudden he started using Octane render, and I was like, oh, and I had a little computer with no GPU, and I was like, Octane render, and I was like, I gotta get this. I don't have a GPU. So, long story short, I shifted over to Blender, started learning stuff with Blender with cycles, and then eventually I was able to get a laptop that had a GPU on it, and then that just broke into my whole adventure of just going deeper into 3D, started
Mm.
working with the Octane, and that brings me to the last 3 years where I was like, man, I'm struggling with Blender Octane because I can't find any tutorials, I can't find a lot of stuff on the
Okay.
internet. So I was like, you know what? And I've learned from my other past YouTube channel that when you learn something, it's good to share it out to others because maybe somebody else is struggling with the same issue. So
True.
that just started my whole journey. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this with Octane. As I start learning things, I'm just gonna start throwing these videos on YouTube, really just to remind myself how to do them, and
Mm.
maybe somebody else can, learn from that. And then that kind of started my whole journey. Last year, I had a little my original little laptop died,
Oh.
and I thought that was the end of my whole Octane journey because I was struggling to try to be able to try to afford another GPU laptop,
Yeah.
and I started a community, my Blender Octane school community, and I had a few members in there that were like knowledgeable of the grant. They're like, dude, you should try to apply for a grant. And I'm like, oh, that's never gonna work. I was just really down, so I was thinking negative. They're like, yeah, just give it a try, give it a try. And I'm like, all right. So I filled out a grant, and then all of a sudden I got approved. And I was like, oh wait, oh what? And then they're like, yeah. So they totally helped me out to get back on my feet as far as getting the GPU and stuff like that. And just for since that happened, I was dedicated even more now. So now I'm really gonna share the love about my journey learning Octane and Blender, using the render network, and just the whole like I felt empowered now. Like okay, this I'm spreading the word, and that kind of started my whole journey, and that brings me here with you,
Oh,
sitting
amazing.
here. It's been a journey, and it still is a journey, right? Still on
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yeah, that's it. Life is a journey, takes on many paths, and look where we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like that's just it. You never know what path that you're going to be on, and like I tell most people, the hardest part is just getting started on your journey.
That's it.
That's like the
That's it.
hardest thing.
Yeah.
Just get started. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people tend to be focused on what they could have done and then maybe what they can do, but not what what they can do right now, right?
Right
Just
now.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
just
the
do
most
something.
important part. Yes, it's like, and even when I was using my little laptop, and like it was barely I did an Octane bench on it before. It was like at the very bottom of what could be used for Octane. Like Octane's like I was down at the very bottom. It took a long time to render, but that didn't stop me. I literally went like 6, 7 months just grinding out renders on that thing. And people are like, "Why are you using this?" I'm like, "Hey, this is all I got. I'm not gonna let this limit me
Yeah,
from working. I like playing in Octane. I like using it. I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'll just set my renders and go to bed." That was the
true,
deal. So,
true.
yeah, just don't let just because you don't have something, don't let that hold you back from starting your journey. Just get in and use what you got.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, such good advice, especially for
you know.
some of the newer artists who are just getting started.
Yes, yes.
So you've explained like how your 3D journey began. So let's talk about your main driver for doing your 3D stuff now. Is it mainly
Hmm.
tutorials in your community, or are you also working on your own art as well?
You know what? I'm starting to slowly find out my art is just learning. Like I just like learning, and like there was a time where I stopped, and I still found myself skimming through the Octane manual, like what am I doing? But as a kid, I like building model planes and model plots, and like I loved just scrolling through instruction manuals. That was kind of like my thing. So I think now it's more of a just I like the journey of learning new things, and with Octane, and especially with Blender in particular, it's like there's just so much to learn. Like even just Blender alone, there's just
Yeah.
so much to learn. And then on top of that, to add Octane on top of that, it's just like a Big Mac straight from McDonald's. So I just enjoy the journey of learning new stuff and trying to
Yeah.
figure things out. And I think that's what, some people are like, why do you even put yourself through all that? Just use cycles. I'm like, yeah, but I like the journey. I like the challenge of like, how can I do this? But how can I do it in Octane? And if it wasn't Octane, it would probably be Redman or some other off random render engine for Blender. So I think that's what really drives me most is just learning new stuff. I like learning new things. That's my thing.
Amazing. That's such a cool
Yeah.
answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
learning is a skill that, we all need to have, right? And you've obviously mastered not just the learning side, but deciphering that information, making it your own, and then sharing that, which is also a difficult thing sometimes to do.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That is, I will say that is also a challenge in itself, and it's not for everybody. And but I feel like if I can learn something immediately, what I try to redo is to try to make it as easy as possible for somebody else to understand. I think I can't I think it was the Friedman method, or there's a guy who literally like he takes difficult things. Once you
Mm,
take those difficult things, you like need to truly understand it. You need to break it down
yeah,
that you can basically teach it to a 3 year old.
yeah,
And if you can truly break it down to teach it to them and they can understand it, then you truly understand that. So that's kind of been like my philosophy of like everything I do in Octane. I'm like, okay, that was crazy complex. AOVs. Now, how can I water this down so my daughter can understand that?
yeah, yeah,
Break it down to the rawest concept. And that's kind of like a challenge for me, and then that's kind of what motivates me to keep going. Like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, that works. Okay, let me share this. Let me share this YouTube video, make it really out really fast. So that's kind of like what I've been doing as far as trying to understand complex things.
yeah. That's really cool. It is really cool that you aspire to do that, and clearly you have done with your community.
Yes, yes.
So,
And they've helped me. They've helped me a lot too. Break some stuff down. More minds working on a project is better than one mind, definitely.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It
you know
just
that working with the massive team, right? Yeah.
yeah, it really helps. Absolutely helps. Apparently, unless you're a cook, then too many cooks spoil
Yeah, leave
whatever
my
it is
food
you make.
alone. Let
Yeah,
him make it.
this is
Let
my
him
steak.
cook. Let him cook.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so let's talk about the render network. So using the render network, how did you first of all find out about it?
Again, a couple of the same guys who put me onto the grant. Eventually, they were like foreshadowing, "Hey, we're trying to work on this render network thing, and like, do you ever struggle with rendering?" And I'm like, I always just do my render when I go to bed because I don't want to stop my workflow. Like
Yeah,
once I get into a work loop, like I just grind. I'm like, oh, that's been 3 hours. Whoa, I gotta go pick my daughter up from school. I gotta go do, you know. So the network is like my go-to thing. Like I literally just and a lot of the stuff I do are like Instagram reels. I don't do any super massive heavy scenes, so I kind of under like I'm not really maximizing the network because my renders are so small, but they allow me to continually work on my project. So if I'm working on something, I just send it over the network, let it run, and get right back onto like making alters and making tweaks on it.
yeah,
So it really frees up my machine to allow me to keep working nonstop, and that's what I love because before I always just like okay, now what are we gonna do? Like,
yeah,
I don't do
yeah.
Netflix that much anymore now. Like, I'm just always on my. This is my Netflix, my computer. So,
That's the thing.
yeah.
It's so fun when you really get into it, especially when you're working on something and you really just want to, like I've always loved just tweaking scenes and just experimenting with the different lighting and how you can make that better, how the materials can look a bit better and stuff. And I still need to get my head round using Octane properly. I've used it like super basically a couple of years ago. Just converted the Cinema 4D materials to Octane materials and left it at that. Right.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it's converting cycles materials to Octane materials, like my nagging little sister. Yeah, 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 that is the benefit though of using that network is like iterations and very different variations can come out quick. Like
Yeah.
boop, 15 minutes. Like I forget that it's so quick that I come back. I'm like, oh man, I totally forget that was. Oh, that's been done for 20 minutes. Like, because I start getting in my loop, and I'm so used to my mindset of rendering is always takes a long time. But with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
network, it's like completely opposite. Like you'll get stuff done really quickly, and you can start iterating and fixing variations like boom like that. It's awesome. It's really awesome. Again, I don't really maximize the power of the network. Still, like I'm still a little fish, like ding ding ding.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's ideal for what you're saying. Iterating scenes, just letting it render, and then coming
Hmm.
back and having that completed, so that you're not having to wait for hours. Even if it saves a couple of hours, that's something.
Yes. Yeah.
It all
Yeah.
adds up. And
Yeah.
with the network getting more broader, so we're currently we have Octane, we've got Redshift, so for a lot of the Cinema 4D users that'll be super
Hmm.
handy. There's also Cycles now as well.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people who especially were on the fence uh, of of using Octane Blender because a lot of them just don't understand it.
Yeah,
But I think it's going to be a good intro to them that to let them know that you can still use your cycles render and jump on the network and
yeah,
it just experience that
exactly.
rendering process and how fast it's going to be. And plus, I heard in the beta they can just go almost literally from their Blender scene straight to the network, which like for now
Exactly.
right now if you don't know, I basically render out a special file, then I'll send it to the network.
Mm.
But once the cycle one's gonna come on, like it's gonna be really integrated nicely, and I'm gonna be a little bit jealous. Like,
Well, not for too long, because yeah, we will have a deeper integration with Octane Blender as well.
yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's gonna
so
be
good.
nice.
Like what we have for Cinema 4D is a C4D wizard, so that checks the scenes and then it packages the scene as well. It opens the render.x.io browser, and you can just drag and drop your zipped file in, and it's super cool. We've
Yeah, I think
also
I saw that on you're on the YouTube page. I saw a quick
That's
tutorial
it.
about that, and I was like,
Yeah,
ooh, that's gonna be nice. Yeah.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
super handy, and we've also got the download manager now. So I don't know if you've even checked that
Oh yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. I forgot to talk about that. Yeah, man, that's actually a massive saver. Because before, for those of you who don't know, you would after your renders are cooked, you basically would go and download them. And if you use like your default browser, it kind of just downloads, and you're at the mercy of your browser, basically,
Yeah.
or Google or whatever. With the Octane downloader or the render downloader, it literally I've done many Instagram reels and posts like all these little green lines start falling down like it's the
Yeah.
Matrix, and I always put the Matrix music on the background. Wow, and all you just see all your frames are just populating just simultaneously. It's insane, and it comes out so fast, and it's pretty cool. I really enjoyed that the most. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. There's the devs are always working on the network, certain features being added.
Yeah, it's man, it's a time saver, and it
Yeah.
just really improves the whole workflow. Like it's night and day difference. Like when once you start it, you're gonna be like, why was I doing it like this the hard way?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It's true. We have so many artists now doing large format renders, right? So upwards of 8K. There's artists doing stuff on the Sphere, and that's I think 16K by 16K, which is insane,
Massive,
right?
massive. Yeah, GPUs would just start crying.
Yeah, I think I saw recently someone was rendering something which was taking an hour per frame on a 4090,
Mm,
and that is
wow.
insane.
Yeah, that's yeah. You that's where you need network help. Like yeah, and this is what that's for. It's to help you out with monsters like that. Definitely.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So
Yeah.
it's versatile enough for some of the smaller workflows, previs, things like that you want to do lower res but just fast, or if you
Yeah.
wanted to do high res renders for immersive experiences. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, I think well, I've done one render that was at 4K, and like, again, I was surprised by the speed that it came out because it was almost taking 2 minutes a frame on my 4080 here, and like, yeah, again, I set it to go render, and I walked away, went to go get some coffee, and came back. I was like, oh, it was only 250 frames, but I was like, oh, it's done. Oh, okay, well, let's get it's just. Yeah, my whole mindset doesn't change. It's still I'm not used to having renders come out that fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool though. It's a cool feeling. So,
Yeah.
what would you say to artists who are still relying on local rendering and haven't tried the render network yet?
First thing, links down in the description. I know I'm probably sure you're gonna give. We got some free credits, for them to try out. So links down in the description.
Yep,
Take a
yep,
look
yep.
at that, and just try it. Like a lot of people think. Like I tell all the time in my videos too. Like I only give you guys and tell you guys about things that are helping me, and this
Yeah.
is tremendously helping me. And it's just try it. Like no matter what I say, there's always going to be non-believers. But if I'm just going to hand you some free credits to try it out, at least try it out and then make your decision, because it's a no-brainer. Like if you like doing 3D work, I know you hate rendering. Everybody hates rendering. This eases the pain of rendering. So like you just have to try it, and they're offering you some free credits to try it. Go try it. Yeah, the network is doing really good things. Like there's still a lot of stuff that I haven't, or I just don't understand. Like I know there's some type of AI integration now also into the network.
Yes. So what we have on the network now, so I'll show this over here somewhere. So like you're able to go on this side of the render portal. It's render.x.io, and then on the left hand side there's the three lines. You click that, and then you get the generative AI tab. And when you click that, it's a different interface. So it's recently been revamped as well. And on there we have different AI models.
Yeah, I just saw, was it Flux, Photon?
Yeah.
I got popped it up here on it. Yeah, like I just like I think I was I don't remember, I was on your guys' Twitter or something. It was what it, but I had saw you guys had posted something on there, and I was like, oh, really? Because I
Yeah.
used to use what is that very famous one?
Mid-journey.
Midjourney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, like talk about playing. Like I would just get stuck in loops there, just like constantly regenerate.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? I'm like, oh, I gotta get to work. Like, but yeah, I saw that here, and I was like, ooh, that's gonna be interesting. So
Yeah.
definitely gonna have to look at that.
So anyone
Yeah.
watching who wants to play around with the generative AI, you can absolutely do that with the credits on this link, right? So
Ooh, I
it
didn't know
works
that.
all across the platform.
Oh, I
There's
didn't
going
know
to
that.
be yeah, so you can use that. There's going to be more of these AI models added, and we're always refining things. So if you see anything that you want added, if there's certain features that you'd like, let us know about it, right? And obviously follow us on our socials. I'll put all of those around here somewhere. Yeah, it's such a cool thing to be a part of. The Render
Yeah.
Network. It's the largest GPU network on the planet for artists, right?
Isn't it like blockchain?
Yeah, Web3, blockchain, whatever you want to call it, and it is based on a token. So it's a token-based model, and it helps with things like we have nodes on the network, which could be different artists' machines, right? Their GPUs all across the world. So in terms of paying them, it's done via tokens because it's just super quick and
Ah.
easy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
at some point in the future, when we like right now, our node list is closed until we
Mm-hmm.
reopen it again. And anybody watching, you are able to join the wait list as well, which is at
So, node. What do you mean by node?
okay. So a node is literally if you were to put your machine onto the network,
Mm-hmm.
it's a node,
Oh, okay. So
right?
basically, other GPUs.
Exactly. So
Okay.
it's um, yeah, then whenever something gets sent to the network, depending on a couple of different factors, different nodes across the planet will be rendering that scene, right? Yeah, you know what? I think this has been an amazing chat. I won't keep you too long. I'm sure
Okay,
at some
definitely.
point in the future we can have another conversation, maybe go over
Yeah.
something that you're exploring or getting into. But just to finish off, where can our viewers find you?
At the moment, I'm quite sure. I think I've dominated it enough where if you search on YouTube and literally go Blender Octane, you might see my smiling face pop up on some thumbnail, literally, or a Google search, because that's pretty much all I focus on is Blender Octane at the moment and trying to share that love. So I'm quite sure you can easily find me on that. And then we'll probably have some links down here below. And for
Yeah.
those of you who are kind of like on the fence or don't know about what Blender Octane is, it is a thing. And I have spent the last 6 months building a Blender 101 guide for Octane. And link will be down below. It's free. I'm just giving the whole thing out for free. And then I have my community, which is again just for the hardcores, people who are just very hardcore about Blender Octane and dedicated to it. So I've kind of found just like an area where we all can hang out, do challenges, share workflows. I put up a bunch of videos there, assets,
Yeah.
and things like that, because the thing with Blender, people love making. That's what I love about the Blender community is all the stuff that people make, as
Yeah.
far as add-ons and things like that. And they're neglecting us, a lot of us Octaners, but that's all right because I'm trying to change that. So we're kind of like on the dark side, the back side of the default cube. It's like you got the default cube, here's Cycles and
Yeah,
Eevee,
you're
and
right.
Octane. We're on the back, but
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cool community that you've helped build, and it's amazing seeing what you're doing. It really
Yeah,
is.
we're just having fun learning, basically. Yep,
That's it.
having fun learning.
Amazing.
So, render credits, guys, down on the link below. Check it out and get up to date with rendering. Get off your computer, load it up there, and start getting back to work on your computer, not waiting for your renders, yo.
Perfect.
This is 2025. This is how you render. Yep.
Amazing. Right. It has been absolutely awesome speaking with you. Finally, after so
Definitely.
long.
My pleasure. It was awesome. Definitely, we'll do it. We'll have to do this again. Definitely.
Yeah. Excellent. Right. Take care. Until next time, man.
Alrighty. As we say, sayonara.
Sayonara.
From Japan.